There is no doubt that Francisco de Goya was a true reference for Spanish painting of the 18th and 19th centuries, his black painting being the object of study and dispute for many years. Goya's life was marked by being a time of great political and social changes, especially by the War of the Independence, when French troops entered Spain and the Aranjuez mutiny occurred. Goya's position before the French Revolution is totally patriotic in defense of national freedom, and in 1819 he wants to flee from Ferdinand VII and Madrid, buying a country house known as Quinta del Sordo on the other side of the Manzanares. The house was originally decorated with landscape scenes, however, Goya was responsible for replacing them with 14 scenes painted in oil with a bitter theme and monstrous characters. Having two plans, each of them will be analyzed. In the first place, we have Saturno devorando a sus hijos. In classical mythology, the figure of Saturn was an allegorical emblem on the passage of time, since the Titan ate his newborn children for fear of being dethroned by one of them. According to the interpretation of certain researchers, it will be a satirical portrait of Ferdinand VII devouring Spain. Judith y Holofernes. The biblical scene is representing which Judith, to save her people from General Holofernes, seduced him and cut off his head. Una manola. A mature woman dressed in mourning appears, leaning with her elbow on a mound of earth, which would allude to Goya's own tomb as a premonition of his death. La Romería de San Isidro shows a vision of the pilgrimage to the Hermitage of Madrid in order to represent a traditional Madrid festivity. El aquelarre represents the nocturnal meeting of the witches in the presence of the demon, who appears as the traditional figure of a large god. Dos Viejos represents an elderly bearded man leaning on a cane to whom an animal leg being shouts in his ear. On the upper floor we can see duelo a garrotazos, that the traditional interpretation has been that of two villains fighting with canes in a desolate place buried up to their knees. It seems to prefigure the fight between the two Spains, that is, between progressives and moderates. Las Parcas, according to classical mythology, were the goddess of the destiny. Atropos carries the scissors to cut the thread, Clotho the spinning wheel, and Lachesis the spinner. Visión Fantástica or Asmodea shows two enigmatic characters in flight. One of them points to a large rock on a plateau with numerous buildings and towers. El Santo Oficio. A group of characters appears, among which is an inquisitor along with a series of women heading to a pilgrimage to collect the miraculous water from the fountain of San Isidro, encouraged by the Holy Office. Perro semihundido. There are many interpretations about this work. Some historians say that the dog is sinking, others that it's not, and others that it's looking towards some birds. Dos viejos comiendo sopa. Two old men are seen, the one of the left with a grimace on his mouth, Fairfax due to lack of teeth, and the one of the right with a corpse-like face. Both represents the passage of time and death. And to finish, we have Dos mujeres y un hombre and Hombres leyendo. In this way, the black painting expressed a partial vision of Spain in the 1920s, of the vision of discontent, of irrational, of a visionary who was ahead of his time. With Fuseli and William Blake, Goya was proposing expressive solutions typical of Romanticism, Impressionism, and Expressionism.